Well, I'm quite relieved, I have to say. You know, as you rightly say, 3 races ago, who'd ever have thought that we'd have 3 successive races in the points, and particularly culminating in this, a 4th and a 6th. A great drive by both drivers, really. 2 different strategies. I'm not going to say which was right and which was wrong, but Damon would probably think that his was right. But, you know, the team, pit stops, everything. But I think a lot of credit has to go not just to the new design of the car, but in particular to, obviously, Honda, who have made great strides forward. For a team in their first year with us, I mean, really what they've done is remarkable.
Tell me about that strategy, Joe. It does seem like a bit of a strange choice going for 2 stops with Ralph.
Ralph really felt, and I think we had a feeling after the morning warm-up, if we took some fuel out, that possibly he could go and lead the race and then control a little bit and pull away. But I think Villeneuve had a very, very low wing setup and low downforce, so he was able to keep us at bay, which was a shame. And I was really quite surprised the way Damon's times were able to keep up on a one-stop strategy. So actually, early on, I felt that Damon was in a stronger position.
Let's have a word with Damon. Your first points for Jordan.
Yeah, and not only that, it was a fighting finish, you know, really well up there and hanging on, even possibly with an outside chance of coming in on the podium. So I think that, we can be very satisfied, and everyone's very happy here, obviously.
An enjoyable race as well?
Well, it's something to get your teeth into, you know, when you've got something like 4th place, you know, it's getting close to the front of the pack, and I can concentrate on the small differences that make all the difference. And the team did a great job all weekend. We were competitive all weekend, and the reliability is there as well. It's just a tough circuit on engines. Both cars finished 2nd race on the trot, and we were competitive. Very good.
Well, I can tell you after that last race, half the team shaved their heads to celebrate Ralph's 5th point. Lord knows what they're going to do with both cars coming home in the points. Well done, Jordan.
Thanks very much indeed, Lou, and great to see Damon up there. And David Coulthard, super race from him. Jacques Villeneuve, the world champion, back up there on the podium. But really, this has been another massive day for the McLaren Mercedes team. Mercedes breaking that long blank spell in World Championship races in Germany. And there's still a lot for us to talk about. We'll be right back from Hockenheim in a couple of minutes' time. And hello once again. Well, for the A1 ring in Austria last weekend, Ried, Hockenheim, Germany today. Same result, Mika Häkkinen first, David Coulthard second for McLaren. Now, you might have seen him getting a hug and then getting drenched with champagne. He's Adrian Newey, the technical director of McLaren, and straight after the race, he spoke to James Allen.
Right here. Adrian, you were in a thrilling race, but you had some kind of problem. Was it Mika Häkkinen and was it fuel?
No, we're just a bit worried about a few things. I'll tell you later, but we'd rather not comment at the moment. But
I saw a sign saying map 2 though, so presumably you determined to lead it down.
Yes, we were just a little. No point in pushing it. We felt we wanted to be safe, so no big drama. But really pleased for him.
You had a baby last weekend. That must have been nerve-wracking, and now another nerve-wracking weekend for you. You're going to need a bit of a break, aren't you?
Well, it'd be nice, but I'm afraid it's a few races away yet.
Very well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very well indeed. Talking there before he got drenched with champagne up there on the podium. Okay, let's have a quick word with Tony Jardine, shall we? Tony, your overall impressions of the race?
Well, I think it was clearly a very competitive race. Everybody was flat out. They were right there. The engines are flat out for 60% of the lap, and I was amazed that more people didn't blow up, to be very honest. But I'm very relieved for Mercedes and for McLaren, more for Mercedes than anybody else, because that's their first German win in the World Championship since 1954. And you know, they got thousands and thousands of guests here, but there's mixed emotions from the Germans. Schumy's back there, you know, and Mercedes are up front, so they don't really know whether to cheer or to cry at the moment.
Absolutely. Good day though for Williams. Villeneuve up there on the podium. Patrick Head, the man who really pulls a lot of strings in the team, has his views of the race now.
Patrick, a very good day indeed for Williams.
Well, by 1998 standards, yes, but it's good to be in there as a serious competitor, and we've got to try and build on that and make sure that we're in that position for the rest of the races this year.
McLaren looked like they had a few problems. I think it was Häkkinen and they didn't put enough fuel in the car. They slowed certainly right down. Jacques looked like he was challenging. Then he backed off a bit. What happened?
Yeah, we had a small electrical problem that caused a little bit of a problem on the car just at that time. It was unfortunate that it happened at that time. I don't know whether the result would have been any different, but it slightly changed the car, and that caused Jack to have to do a bit of a readjustment.
Well, that's a very good.
Been a tough season, but they'll battle back, I'm sure. What do you make of Williams? Good to see, despite the old haircut that I think looks dreadful, Jacques Villeneuve up there.
Hair colour's changed yet again. No, I think that the work that they did originally in Monza to transform the car and totally rebuild the car, the suspension, the aerodynamics, has paid off, because it worked at Monza, at a high-speed track, just like it's worked here. But unfortunately, that's been too late for Jacques Villeneuve. Williams did not react early enough in the season. Their car was a short wheelbase. It was too nervous. It was too pointy. They needed a longer wheelbase car, which now they've got. Now they're sort of catching up. But the problem is, this driver's leaving. They're not going to give him a lot of technical information. They're not going to let him test. They're also in danger of losing some of their engineers, like Jock Clear, going over to BAR. So unless they watch it, they could have some problems there, Jim.
Absolutely. We spoke before the start about Ferrari, and we warned everybody out there, things haven't gone too well for them so far. And they will look back at these last couple of weeks and think, crikey, perhaps our World Championships went out of the window then.
I have to be careful what I say here, but I think they're missing something this weekend. I think that they've had something on the car, and I think they've had to take something off the car. And I think it's a result of threatened protests from McLaren against Ferrari as to what they believe that they were using. And I believe that that is the mapping of the throttle system that they have, which can replace traction control. And that is to help ease wheel spin on the inside wheel on the corner. I could be totally wrong, but why were they so slow? You could say that the aerodynamics were inferior. Yes, that's one thing, but they've had that package all season, yet they've been much closer. We know the engine was very strong. They had the straight line speed. They were nowhere. They were scrabbling for grip as if they were missing something. I don't want to talk out of turn, but it's a bit suspicious to me.
Okay, interesting stuff. A lot more to discuss from Hockenheim. We're back soon. And you're back with us at Hockenheim, where the McLarens of Mika Häkkinen and David Coulthard have really coasted to victory at the German Grand Prix. Press conference time now. It's Alistair Watkins asking the questions. First of all, to the winner, Mika Häkkinen.
I'd say, in the end, there was a situation where I was quite worried about the situation, and Jack was pushing very hard. And catching us 1 point, and even 1 point there was some all on the track, and when that was happening that time, I started losing speed from the car, and like David mentioned to me after the race, at some point he had difficulties to see because it was something was coming out of the car. So I was obviously concerned about it, and that's where the pressure came from.
When you came up for your pit stop, did you think that David might get ahead of you at that stage?
Yes, I did. But yes, I did. I hope. What else are you going to say?
Well, David, you pushed Mika very hard through the whole race. You were 1 second behind, pretty much from start to finish. Did you think at any stage you were going to be able to get past, or was it a team race today?
I thought, as you mentioned about the pit stop, I might be able to get past, because I noticed that as Mika went into the pits, I saw in my dash that we were 8 tenths slower on that lap up until that point. So I knew if I just went back to my normal lap time, I could gain that, and that could make the difference. But I got 2 cars on my end lap for the pit stop. A little bit frustrated, and then tried to make up the time, breaking into the pit area, and I overshot. So in the end, it cancelled out, and I came out behind him. And it's very difficult when you're racing against someone in the same car, because fuel-wise, you've got the same weight, you've got the same tyres, very similar setup. So you experience different drop-off in performance of the tyres and the brakes. So it makes it very difficult to try and have a big advantage in a certain area.
Second for David Coulthard. Confirmation of the result. 16-point maximum for the McLarens, the world champion Jacques Villeneuve. Third, Damon Hill up there in 4th place, and then the Schumachers, Michael and Ralph. And that's how it looks now after 11 rounds. 16 points the gap. It's stretching again. Mika Häkkinen from Michael Schumacher. David Coulthard extending his lead over Eddie Irvine to 10 points. And Jacques Villeneuve up to within a point of Alexander Wurz. Let's have a word now with Jacques Villeneuve.
Thank you, David. Well, Jacques, your first podium since you won the championship last year in Jerez. It must have been fantastic running up at the top again.
Yeah, it feels great. Today we could keep up with Mika, mostly when we noticed he was having problems, and we could keep up with the two McLarens, and we were trying to. I was trying to push hard just to make sure that the problem that Mika had would accentuate. But then 7 laps from the end, something broke on my car, and then I had to slow down myself, which is a shame.
Towards the end of the race, we saw your pit crew looking a bit worried. Did you have a problem on the car?
Yeah, exactly, which is what I just said. We're getting a lot of inside wheel spin, so I don't know, maybe the differential failed or something like that, and the revs were going up and nothing was happening on the track, so I was losing a little bit of time because of that.
And in the Constructors' Championship, McLaren, Mercedes march on, and Ferrari, a bleak old day for them really. Williams improving a bit, getting a little bit closer to the Bennettons, and Jordan up there in 5th place, the Stewarts in 6th. Now, Tony, what did you make of the strategy, the Jordan strategy that we spoke about there? 1 stop for Damon Hill and 2 for Ralphie Schumacher.
Well, when Eddie was in here earlier on, he said, I'm not going to tell you about the strategy.
And he didn't.
And he didn't. He kept firmly stum about that. And it seemed to me that the drivers had been allowed to select what they thought was the best policy. And it was fairly clear to me that Ralph had decided to go for this 2-stop because they felt that from this morning's warm-up, if they ran with a lighter fuel load, the car was going so well, so fast, a straight line, that he could make the difference, get up amongst the leaders, maybe even ahead of them with a lighter fuel load, because they knew that McLaren had to go onto the harder tyres as well, the harder Bridgestones. They hadn't made the softer ones work. Whereas Damon said, no, I'm going to stay on the 2. And Damon was right and Ralph was wrong, but they're both in the points, so it's a brilliant day for Jordan.
Okay, thank you, Sonia. We accused him perhaps of a bit of paranoia a couple of days ago, but things have turned out pretty well for Ron Dennis, the man in charge of McLaren, the big winners here at Hockenheim.
Ron, 2nd race in a row, another one too.
Yeah, it's quite pleasing. It's not completely trouble-free, but relatively so.
What were the troubles then?
We just didn't have the fuel consumption that we wanted, and it was just a little tight at one stage, and we just changed the engine settings and it sorted it out. But these things, it's quite a complex extrapolation of the numbers, and we just wanted to be very sure, but we had to decide quickly what to do, and it just came out well.
It came out well for them, and it looks as though 1998 is going to come out pretty well for McLaren and for Mika Häkkinen.
Yeah, I think so, but what we got to remember, against this backdrop, Ron is fighting off the track just as much as he's fighting on the track. What he's saying is that we're fighting in an environment in which everybody seems to want Ferrari to win, so that Schumacher gets away with it, Ferrari gets away. This is the view of their team, and when you're like that, I suppose it feels like the world is against you. But to be fair to them, they have fought against the rule book, they have protested. They lost their braking, selective braking thing at the beginning here, and so it's going on, but they're still ahead. So fair play to the boys from Woking and from Ron, even when he's extrapolating.
Extrapolating, yeah. Let's see what we can extrapolate from Michael Schumacher. And now thousands of people supporting him here. He's with James.
The weekend has been pretty difficult. Not competitive over the whole weekend, and we knew we improved the car a bit after qualifying, but as we have seen, not good enough, and no more we could do.
No more they could do. The pit stops were pretty crucial, weren't they? We felt those McLaren pit stops, if they'd have gone wrong for Mika Häkkinen, there would have been a problem.
Yeah, now these two guys were running very close, and the other thing that we thought about this is that it was clear that David Coulthard had been told to run behind. And Mika Häkkinen came in here just a lap before his teammate David Coulthard. But again, that stop was done in 9.9 seconds, and out he went, and it was really good. But there was a chance, because DC was running close behind, that he could perhaps have even overtaken him in the stop because they were going so well. There was Michael Schumacher there who was struggling all day with grip. There was lovely slow motion camera shots of him going through the dirt and things. Looking at the tyres, they didn't seem grained, they didn't seem as if they'd had too many problems with them, but yet the car was all over the place. We had pictures of him in lurid opposite lock slides,
Absolutely.
which Schumacher was getting away with. And somehow he was keeping that car on the track by the skin of his teeth. Good old Schumi.
Okay, another chance to enter our competition now, courtesy of our broadcast sponsor, Texaco. You can win VIP trips to the Italian Grand Prix at Monza in mid-September. Both questions are about Jackie Stewart, a trailblazing driver in his day. Jackie Stewart now back in Formula One, running his own team for the second year. And it's a terrific prize as well. 5 pairs of tickets for an all-expenses-paid trip to Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. That's on the weekend of the 12th and 13th of September. And here are the questions for you. Question 1. How many Grand Prix did Jackie Stewart win in his career? A, 17, B, 27, C, 37. How many World Drivers' Championships did Jackie Stewart win? A, 1, B, 2, or C, 3? Okay, a couple of simple questions. If you think you know the answers, this is the number to dial: 0891 22 9966. 0891 22 9966. The lines close at midnight on Wednesday, August the 26th. And the best of luck. Now, the next Sunday, the new football season kicks off here on ITV with the Charity Shield. Double winners Arsenal against Manchester United at Wembley.
Strike. Oh, that's a brilliant goal.
Join Bob Wilson next Sunday at 10 o'clock on ITV, the FA Charity Shield. Arsenal against Manchester United. Okay, more reaction interviews and analysis on our highlight show tonight at 10:45. Next we go to Hungary for the Grand Prix in a couple of weeks' time. Well done, McLaren. Bye-bye from us all.
If you would like to know more about Formula One, the website address sponsored by F1 Racing Magazine is www.itv-f1.com.